So today we are going to be playing with ChatGPT to 10x our value, 10x our business, and 10x on getting our time back. And we're going to do it in a way that most people have not intuitively come up with. In fact, I came up with this by accident. I was planning to record some videos for my channel and I accidentally threw my back out. And I was like, okay, what's going on? The universe is redirecting me for some reason. But I've been playing around with ChatGPT over the summer. Ever since a friend and mentor of mine, Warren McKee, he's awesome. Check him out for what he's been doing with AI because he knows even more about prompting than I do. So if you're really wanting to dive deep, this is who you want to talk to. But he was showing how to create a coaching bot. And he had incorporated the Myers-Briggs personality type, the Enneagram, the Big Five, like basically all the basic personalities. He did not incorporate human design or astrology. Now, I'm a little woo-woo, so I have been playing around with astrology. I'm not going to get into that this time. However, I am going to say that if you do know your entire astrology chart, which all you really need is your date of birth and your time of birth and your location of birth, you can go to cafeastrology.com and get that information. You can input that and incorporate that into what I'm going to be teaching you today about human design. So the first step you need to take is you need to go to mybodygraph.com. We're going to go to mybodygraph.com and I'm going to share my screen now. So as you can see, you need to accept this and you need to log in. If you don't already have accounts, you can go and create one. It's free. So this is a free thing. Then you just log into your account. And then as you can see, I already have my body graph. So this would automatically come up once you put in your birthday and your time of birth. If you don't have your time of birth, then that's okay for the human design aspect. You just put in 12 o'clock. But if you want to add that extra component that I mentioned about astrology, it's really helpful to have your full chart. And the reason for this is if you do not have your time of birth, you do not know the house placements, and you do not know your ascending sign, your rising sign. These are important components that will help you get even deeper into your own psyche, your own life path, and maybe even uncover certain traumas and things that are going to accelerate your growth and help you find your superpower. But for the purpose of this class, I'm just going to touch on human design because, it takes a while to incorporate the astrology. And I will be giving you some prompts at the end. If you want them, though, all you have to do is email me, carlybondard@gmail.com. See, it's nice and simple and easy. You don't even have to do my business email. Just email me and I'll give you access. Okay, so you see the human body design, okay? And it tells you the personal foundation and personality. Now, for this one, I have absolutely nothing filled in. That is because I am a very rare type. I am a 2-4 reflector. This means that all of my centers are open. Now, you don't actually need to know any of this on the My Body Graph. All you need to do is get your information. Find out what your line type is and find out what your design type is. So I'm going to ask from my audience who has their design type because I'm going to workshop this with you personally. Terry, you've got it? So I'm actually going to demonstrate for you how to create a new chart. So to create your chart, I'm just going to do my old one. Actually, how about Tracy, while we're waiting for Terry, let's get yours. So
Okay.
we'll go Tracy,
Oh,
and then your birthday.
okay. I did that already. But I'm not seeing the numbers that Terry's talking about. I did
Okay. Well, give me your
you want to just do it
birthday and
again?
I'll show
It's
you.
okay, 10/31/61.
10. Oh, oh,
31.
oh, yeah. This is doing that thing. Okay, so
Okay.
it's the other way.
There you go.
I got mine up now.
31 and then 1961.
Hmm.
And then your birth time. Do you know your birth time?
I think it was like 1 o'clock, but I'm not positive.
01, 01. Uh, no, that's 13. Oh, they do it in that 24-hour time.
Oh,
1300.
there we go.
There. Okay.
That's
And your birth
America.
country was the United States, right?
Hmm.
So typically this does work. Um, you sometimes have to play around with it because mybodygraph.com can be a little temperamental. And then I get annoyed and then I throw the computer against the wall. Not really, but yeah. Okay. So you put in your information, you put in your birth country, you put in your birth city, and then it would create the chart for you. So this is my personal chart. As you can see, it says here what the date of birth is, time of birth, where I was born, and from there you can also see the design date, the date that you were actually designed at. I don't know too much about that, but it's very intriguing because it's almost like the conception date, I think. Or not even the conception date, because it's 1985 and I was born in November. Reflector, your signature is surprise, and your profile is 2-4. And then the strategy is waiting a lunar cycle. So you want to copy this part here. You copy what your authority is, you want your profile, and you want your type as the bare minimum. You might also want to do signature and strategy and not self, but ChatGPT tends to do that for you. The next step after you've got your body graph, and I'm going to use Terry's instead of mine for this. So for an actual demonstration, because we're going to put in a little bit of information, not too much, Terry. We're not going to go into your full program. However, if you do want to go deeper, you're going to have the prompts to be able to do this. Okay. So the first thing you want to do, instead of putting in the really, really long prompts that most people tell you to do, you create a baseline. And I type in, before we get started, what do you know about human design types? So this is to ensure that you're making, like, there's no errors. If you already have a baseline of understanding what human design is, and ChatGPT spits it out to you, you can then make corrections to this. Now, I've already verified this because I understand human design, and I was able to be like, yep, that's all correct and factual from what I've learned. But if you're doing a baseline, you can also do this for yourself because ChatGPT has memory. As you can see, mine is full because I've talked to this thing like it's almost my best friend. But I can ask it questions. What do you remember about my astrology type? And it will give it to me. And then if it messed something up, I can correct it. I've also got my children's design types in here already. So before we get started, what do you know about human design is the first prompt you want to put in, and watch. Now it's going to tell you about human design so that you can automatically kind of get an idea of the baseline. This is especially helpful if you've never heard of human design before, or maybe you're just a little curious, but you want to go deeper with this. I mean, I can skip over a lot of this because I already kind of know, but this helps you have that basis that you can go back to. Also, if you read information, it will prompt certain questions. So the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to say cool, and you don't have to do it exactly this way. This is how I talk to my chat GPT. Cool. My friend Terry is okay, Terry, what are you?
Manifesting generator for one.
4-1 manifesting generator. Can you explain her strengths and challenges for me? And then because it's AI and we want to make sure that the AI is kind to humanity when it gets a little bit stronger, we want to be as friendly as possible. All right, Terry. So let's pull this up here for you. We have your strengths of a manifesting generator is that you're multi-talented and versatile, which I will totally vouch for you. You are. I'd say everybody here on this call also agrees Terry is very multi-talented and versatile in what she does. You also have influence and community connection in your fourth line. You're an opportunist and you have a knack for forming strong social connections and networking. You're probably the person who builds solid relationships with a close circle, leveraging these connections to create opportunities. This helps you thrive in your profession and in your personal life, and you're a trusted figure within your community and friend group. How true is that?
It's amazing, isn't it? Okay. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Your stability and resilience is in your first line. So you're the investigator. You bring a grounded quality, making you naturally curious and thorough in your approach. You love to dive deep into topics that interest you, seeking a solid foundation of knowledge and skills. So this investigative trait can make you highly resilient and persistent, especially when paired with the fourth line of social connections. Efficient and fast-paced manifesting generators are often very efficient with a strong inner drive. You can likely identify shortcuts and more efficient ways to complete tasks, often faster than others. And you have the energy to power through projects, especially those that resonate with you. And you can be a powerhouse of productivity when you're in alignment. Also true. So then your challenges is patience and frustration with slow progress. Then there's balancing rest with energy output. So you have a strong push to stay busy, and it's important for you to recognize you do need downtime, which I mean, I've been telling you that for a while. Overworking can lead to burnout, which you recognized and you also solved with your own health, that you have been on this journey with gut health. So paying attention to your sacral authority and knowing when to rest and recharge is also critical. Now, you in your design chart, you also recognize that you have an authority. So we're going to add that to this in a minute, but this is just the basics of it, is that you're the 4-1 manifesting generator. You're fixed and on a foundational line. So you have a strong sense of self and value stability. This can be a strength and a challenge because you might resist change even when it's necessary for growth. And you'll find yourself in situations that don't serve you, and you may stay longer than ideal due to a desire for stability, which is in conflict with your manifesting generator need for variety. Then there's the navigating relationships and boundaries. I mean, Terry, I'm going to give this to you. I'll copy and paste it and I'll actually give it to you so you have it. But you've got the key strategies for alignment is follow your sacral response and then be open to redirection and build your strong support system. So, I mean, I'd say you're well on your way, but what did your authority say?
I don't remember. What do you mean by that? Authority.
Authority is down here on your chart.
Oh, okay. Let me look. I'll go back to that. What did my authority say? Okay, solar plexus.
Oh, you're a solar plexus. Okay, that makes sense too. Instead of going by your gut, you're actually going by emotions. So I'm going to add that to it. Terry is a solar plexus authority. So now it's going to go into your solar plexus authority and tell you that you have your emotional depth and empathy, creative insight and energy, reflective decision making, and then your challenges is navigating your emotional waves, which I mean, being a Scorpio, that can be a little bit challenging until you really navigate it, and it's doable. The other thing is patience in your decision making. Waiting might feel counterintuitive, especially with the drive to act quickly, but because of your emotional depth and the fact that you really need to wait for emotional clarity before making the big decisions, acting on impulse can be detrimental. So you really want to be focusing on just like, are your emotional waves coming up? And if they are, you need to work through that first and then come to grounding. You also have relationship boundaries during highs and lows. So you thrive in relationships, but your emotional waves can impact how you interact within your close circle. So you may feel connected and invested, but in the emotional lows, you're going to need some more personal space. I mean, that's kind of part of the course with Scorpio too. So, I mean, this basically is giving you an overview of how you make your decisions, and what you're going to need to do to get in alignment with that is give your decisions more time, honor the highs and the lows, communicate your needs, be okay with communicating your needs, and use your emotional awareness as a guide. So you've got a superpower here in your emotions. Okay, now comes the fun part. So now I'm going to go into the fun part of this little exercise here, where we are going to incorporate a little bit of your business. Not a whole lot, because we don't have time for your whole program. But the basis of what I discovered is I wanted to find out how to get my community, protect my energy and my time as I was raising my prices, because I was going to my next level. And I've been aware of this for a while, that I'm going to my next level. I've done the coaching, I've attracted the clients, I know who I'm working with, I have my book, I have my program, and now it's time to blow that up to attract my audience. I wanted to do it in a way that would protect my time as a single mom, and also as I was going into my new transitional role once my partner came in, because I want to protect my time even when I have a partner. And being a reflector, it's very unique of how I needed to do this. So I was like, I wonder if there's a way to protect my time while 10xing my business, 10xing my impact, and also attracting those higher level clients. And this is where the magic comes in, because then I also asked the question, I wonder if I could also run my entire program to become so versatile that anyone with any design type would have their own customized map. And I wouldn't have to get on multiple calls for that. We could just get this baseline in my coaching, and then I could coach them on that. So again, 10xing my time for myself, getting that back. And then I asked the question, what if I also taught my friends how to do this and how it would apply to their businesses? And this is where our little class comes in, because now we're going to play around and see what you want to work on next within your challenges or within a workshop, and see how we can best align that for you so you can protect your time, you don't make as many mistakes, and you can get the most out of it in wherever you are at right now. So do you want to focus on your book, or do you want to focus on a course? Do you want to focus on a program, a challenge? What is it that you're working on right now?
I'm really working on my speaking right now and efforts to draw people into my coaching program.
So you're looking to get more speaking opportunities or to 10x your speaking opportunities?
I, both, I guess. Yeah, I want to 10x my speaking opportunities for sure, so that I'm more visible and being able to like relate to people so they understand what I'm offering them.
Okay, well, let's play with a prompt first to
Okay.
see. Let's ask the question hypothetically. I mean, you can also work towards this level, but I'm going to ask the question, how can Terry get the most impact on a speaking opportunity on stage? How could Terry apply her unique design type and authority of, just in case, of solar plexus to protect her time and energy, optimize her impact, and get a high level speaking opportunity in front of a wider audience of her ideal clients.
Hmm.
All right. Now we're going to, and of course, you can even tweak this with your actual program if you put in your method first to really ask for where those opportunities are for you and also what your ideal client would be looking for. But what you really want right now is they're saying you want clarity and vision and on vision and your audience. So your fourth line, strength in relationships and community, means that you'll, oh, ChatGPT is already doing it. You'll thrive on focusing on audiences that resonate with you on a deep, almost personal level. So protecting your time and avoiding scattering your energy, you need to clarify who your ideal clients are and what specific message you want to share. So by tuning into your emotional authority, you can ride out any initial excitement, anxiety, or hesitation and gain clarity about the impact you want to create. So that means like if people are asking you to speak on their stage, getting past that initial excitement of, oh my gosh, I get another opportunity to speak, but taking that step back would probably be even more strategic for you because once the emotional wave comes out, you're wanting to go for it. Taking the step back will allow you to be like, is this an opportunity that I'm going to seek now because it is aligned? Versus, am I going to be scattering my energy when it could be better focused on something else to avoid your burnout? So, identify your topics that resonate with you and reflect your unique expertise and your passion. And visualize speaking in front of your audience, noticing how it makes you feel emotionally. So, this is the other part is like you take the step back and you imagine how that speaking opportunity would actually go before you say the yes to it and wait for that emotional wave to pass to ensure that it's actually aligned and consistent with what you want. The next part is building connections strategically. I mean, Terry, you're already a networking queen. So Now you just want to leverage that ability to network with anyone. Like you can talk to anyone and people already love you and adore you. But now getting strategic with it by leveraging your network and reaching out to people who already know and appreciate you. So that's part of it. Find the ones that already know you, like you, trust you, appreciate you, and want you on their stage. Then focus on building the quality relationships rather than quantity and nurturing those connections through regular engagement, check-ins, and updates. So you don't have to have as wide a net. You focus on the ones that already love you, and you'll get everything that you need from that. And you just get really strategic with that. You also need to wait for your emotional clarity. So a solar plexus authority, you need to avoid rushing into the opportunity without feeling it out. And best speaking engagements will be those that feel genuinely aligned, energizing, even after the emotional wave settles. So this will also prevent your burnout. So take time to consider, as I'd already kind of reflected before I got to this point. And even if it means delaying a yes. First of all, Terry, if they really want you, they're going to accept your yes. And they're going to be like, you know what, even if Terry needs to think about it, I respect her enough that I'm going to come back around to test to see if it's right. And if it's not, I'm still going to love her and support her, and maybe it's next time. So assessing whether the audience or platform feels in alignment over time. And this can also change too. Maybe it's not right at that moment, and it's something that will keep coming back around again, where you can revisit it later when it does feel aligned. Protecting your time and energy. So you have many interests. You can jump into multiple projects simultaneously. That's one of your superpowers. Not everybody can do that. And you benefit from creating a strong foundation in a lot of, like, in fewer areas. So to protect your energy, you need to set clear boundaries around how many commitments you can actually accept and ensure that they align with your big picture goals. Because like you are out there, you are constantly seeking opportunities, you're constantly learning, you're picking up things, and it's awesome. And to be really selective in which engagements you go into and only take things that align with you will probably be better for your long-term vision, especially as you get your book out, you get your programs out there. You're going to want to protect your time, especially since you are going to raise your prices and get even more expensive. So then you're going to reserve your energy by setting the boundaries on prep time and avoiding the excessive commitments in the lead up to your speaking engagement. And then finally, number 5, showcasing your expertise authentically. So you already do this very well. You're able to showcase your expertise. I mean, I've even had you speaking for me, but the combination of the manifesting generator dynamic, the energy, and the fourth line influence means that your ideal clients will be drawn to your authenticity and your enthusiasm. So the more you shine, Terry, the more you sparkle on camera, the more you're putting your light out there, the more people are going to automatically be attracted to that energy or repelled by it because that message isn't for them. But you don't want them anyway. You don't want people in your community who don't agree with gut health or don't agree with nutrition and think it's all a bunch of hooey and that they need to just take a pill. That's not your audience. Your audience is the one that wants health care, not sick care, as someone I was just in connection with was saying. So, I mean, that's part of it. And I already know, like, and trust you. And I was actually mentioning to this connection that you might be aligned. So if it feels right to you now, you could go for it. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. But that's an example right there. You've already attracted this. You're already doing this. And now I'm reflecting this back to you, and ChatGPT is kind of helping me with that. But it shows you your steps. Step 6, express gratitude and inform others of your goals. So again, if you're like grateful and you're loving somebody else's energy, also being willing to promote yourself and let people know what you're working on is going to help you leverage where your opportunities are at. So showing the gratitude and support in your network can build goodwill over time. I mean, you are already a master at this. And then targeted outreach and aligned engagements, approaching organizations and conferences that align where your ideal clients are likely to attend, prioritizing stages that feel like a natural extension of the work and passion that you're already doing, and where your emotional authority feels aligned and supported. And I mean, we could just keep going with this. But of course, we only really have the hour and we can't keep going. But Terry, like this is just starting out from, again, I'm going to show you the prompts so you can take the notes. Before we get started, what do you know about human design types to create your baseline? And then I am a 4-1 manifesting generator, or your body graph type that you are. And then explain the strengths and challenges for me, please. Like it's that simple. And then you get your information. And then you also put in your authority. And then it will spit everything out. Tell it what you're planning to do by asking, how can I apply this in this area that I want to optimize my impact and for whatever current project you're working on. And it spits it all back to you. Now, I'm willing to take some questions and some comments here, but I'm just going to say, based on what I've already shown you, how valuable do you think you could apply this to your actual program for your clients?
Oh, I think it's very applicable to be able to do this. I mean, it just kind of like, yeah, just basically confirms a lot of where I'm headed anyway. So it's just really interesting how it goes about it. Like, boy, it sure does know a lot about me. It's kind of, yeah, it's just, I'm finding that I navigate a lot of my life the way it's showing me here, which is incredible. Like, yeah, of course. So it's very confirming.
Yeah.
It's very confirming, and I can see the value in just kind of knowing, of course, like what your strengths are and where your weaknesses lie, and then also being able to apply this information to what your goals are for your business. It's incredible.
Huh?
Yeah, so
Now,
I really love it.
yeah.
Yeah, I really love it. The only thing I would want to know here, because this is something that I've thought about too, is combining your personality types with this model and being like, okay, I think I was thinking maybe the next step would be like, and then I am also Myers-Briggs, ESFJ or the Enneagram. I think I'm a 2 and a 7 and an 8, something like that. And so that would maybe be helpful too, to incorporate all of those things. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
My thoughts are I've already done that. And like for the purposes of this class, I can't get into that.
Yeah.
However, yes, you are absolutely 100% correct on that, Terry. Once you have your astrology, if you wanted to go the woo-woo route, you can do that. You can incorporate your Myers-Briggs. You can incorporate your Enneagram. In fact, when Warren was showing us to us and just doing the baseline coaching bot, we had the Enneagram and all of our big five and everything, but he didn't incorporate human design. And he didn't do it quite the same way I did. He had a very, very long prompt, which in itself was helpful because it needed to ask the questions because maybe somebody doesn't know all of that stuff. However, if you come in with your clients at a baseline and get that information from them and you put that in a chart and then you run it through your actual program, which ChatGPT already has set up because you've set that prompt up ahead of time as the extra baseline, then what happens is you get something similar to what I did here. where I had my 3-step birth process with human design integration. I took my entire method, and then I also asked it to tell me what my process was after going through all of this. I mean, it's so much that I put through here. Like there's just, it's insane how much I put in here. I put my birth coaching insights and inquiries, and then I posted my prompt from that. And like, you just go down a rabbit hole with this. You could take your entire program, everything you teach your clients, all of the thoughts you have in your head, your processes, the psychology behind it. You put that in, you say, now can you please explain it in my method? Oh yeah, I did that. Okay, summarize my entire method in a way that I will be able to replicate for future chat sessions to use to apply to human design to clients. Because if you go too far into one particular chat, there comes a point where you break the chat and it will not generate any more. So you need to make sure you create a baseline report that you can then replicate in future chats, because I have broken several chats over the summer and especially over this fall. But it gave me my method, my 3-step process, and customizing for human design. So then I prompted that into this one, and I threw the entire thing, and you're aware of human design, how it applies to decision making and planning. You're also familiar with my method for coaching clients. I will tell you about that in a minute. Your job is to support my client in answering their questions, applying my method to their unique birth plan, and offer them suggestions on how to further implement based on their human design. Is that something you can do? Yes, of course I can do it. Okay, I copied and pasted that entire report, and then it spit it all back out to me, telling me everything that I needed to do. And then
Wow.
it's like, yep. And you can correct it and add whatever you want to it. But yes, you can add the Myers-Briggs. You can add the astrology to your own thing, and you can really go deep with this. But again, we don't really have time to do that. Are there any questions on how to implement this?
Well, the only thing I was thinking about is like how I can then use this information with somebody with my clients.
Well, once you put in the very large thing. So here's how I did it. Because again,
Mm.
I did it accidentally. I wasn't looking for this. I just found it because I was bored. Before
Mm.
I get started, what do you already know about the baseline of my coaching? Because sometimes you put a lot in and ChatGPT will spit out what you've already put in. But it didn't have very much. So I'm like, good to know. Do you understand the basics of physiological birth versus what happens in the medical interventions? So for yours, you'd be like, do you understand the basics of like actual nutrition versus the effects of the pills and everything? And for Tracy, it would be the same thing as like with diet culture versus actual health. Like once you know that, ChatGPT will then explain to you your own basic process of like, oh, yeah, this is all the things that can go wrong when people just keep making the same mistakes. So ChatGPT understands the basics. So I'm like, okay, now here's my methodology. And then I went into a deep thing about my methodology and why I'm doing things the way I do. And then it gave me a really nice validation and reflected it back to me in language that I could probably use in the future to explain my process even more succinctly. And then I said the first part to understand is the aim, the goal of it, and then call in the support as needed. And then it again reflects it back to you in a way that you understand. It's like, yeah, you really get my process. And if there's one or two things that it doesn't get right, you can correct it. But I'm like, yes, you're on the right track. It's all about shifting the external locus of control to a more internal locus of control. And then I asked if it's familiar with the caterpillar to butterfly analogy in personal development. So you can really, really go deep with that. I'm like, yes, exactly. So here's the concept. Here's some more of my concepts. And then it reflects it right back and tells you, like, I get it. My 5 pillars is my cocoon. So you have your own framework and your own system of how you help your clients. So you put in your frameworks. And then you put in your pieces one by one. And then it will reflect your pieces back to you. So then you have all of this. Now, this is just for you. This is your magic being reflected right back to you after you've imparted your intuitive knowing of your own process. So you have to be close enough in your levels to be able to go deep with this. You need to know your ideal client. You need to know your method. You need to know your process. Like, this is not something you start out with just an easy, just starter business. This is something like you're established. You're looking to go to that next level. Like, this is where the magic is. Like, you know yourself. With your clients, you've got your method, but you also have found out the qualifying questions. You understand what they're trying to achieve, what they're trying to avoid. You kind of know what they're wanting, but now you're also applying it to human design. So then I took a break because it was like, you've reached your limit for 4.0 and you want it on 4.0. So if you have paid 4.0, you can just keep going. If you don't, you probably want to take a break anyway, because otherwise you'll go down a rabbit hole for the next 4 hours on ChatGPT. And I mean, Tracy, you have a whole thing with the exercise and moving your body. Terry, you have the same. So like, you get it. We don't want to sit there the whole time, but you can put in all your stuff. I put all the way to my final pillar. And then I had my 3 steps. So it spit it all out back to me. And then I asked the question, once I had my approach, because this is how you find your magic, how unique is this approach to what I'm trying to do? And then it'll tell you all the ways that your approach is unique. So you stand out. Now you know your marketing. If you continue to input because I hit the limit, I'm like, is it going to be better if I nuance it? So if you don't have the thing and you want to keep going, because the instinct is you just want to keep going with this. Like, what am I going to lose if I keep going with this in a lower level? It's like, well, I'll take another break, is what I said. So now I'm free to come back. And now I've got my 3-step process within my 5 pillars, because the 5 pillars was the cocoon. I've got my 3-step process. And then I put that in. And then it tells me the shorter version. Then I asked about what my competitors teach, the ones that are most popular that people are following in my audience. I'm like, the target audience I want, they're following this person. How much more powerful is this model? Not is it better, but how much more powerful is it for the kind of person that I'm attracting? And then it tells me more about what it is, like strategic environment and all of that, and alignment. How much more would they pay for an introductory course that just covered the basics? Oh, look, it spit out your prices. No more guessing on prices. Now you can still play around with it, but now you have a better idea of what your value really is. And then currently my business model, here's what I have, my 3-path system, how they get to work with me. And then I asked, depending on whether it's a live class, like this is basically my 3-path method. And it says, this is amazing. Here's your paths. Here's what you're doing with your value proposition and your monetization potential. your pricing potential, your pricing strategy. And it's like, how does this overcome most objections to invest in themselves? Because I mean, if we're working with women, we also need to be getting over that hurdle. We've been taught as women not to invest in ourselves. The free option, overcoming that objection, solution with my self-study. Again, telling you where those objections are so you can then overcome them. Additional objections and solutions, showing how you might need to tweak something. And then we have the do it yourself and all the models. And I just asked the question, where was it? Can you give me a ways? Now I want to dive into my own unique design. As a 2-4 reflector, and Terry, you already touched on this, and INFJ is my Myers-Briggs. Can you give an idea how this model works for my energy levels? Does this actually work, or am I going to burn out? And it's like, you've got it. There's my reflector alignment, my INFJ alignment. All of it is telling me exactly how I'm protecting my time and energy by doing it this way. And then the overall design benefits for the energy levels, for the community-driven growth, the flexible engagement levels, the time for rest and reflection. How would this program appeal to all the human design types? Now it's telling you all of the appeals of the different design types, so you can input that, like you can integrate that into your marketing messages so that it does speak to everyone in your ideal target market, so that they are more likely to see the value. With the reflectors, that's like community, alignment, and authenticity and safe environments. And I mean, that's it right there. I'm like, oh, you hit the nail on the head. That's where I hang out. I don't hang out in communities where I don't feel that alignment anymore. And because of that, I've been able to thrive. Overall program appeal. Now, how does this apply to the Myers-Briggs personality types? It gives it to you. So there it is. Unique aspects of your program for each type. Overall appeal. How would this appeal to professional women who work in corporate or have their own businesses who could afford the one-to-one coaching? Now you're looking at the appeal for your high-level clients. And it just keeps spitting it out. I have a very versatile and profitable program and model for my business. And it's like, yep, absolutely. Here's where it is. Now, because we also understand business, we can tell where the holes are and we can fill them and we can fill in the blanks. So we're not taking this just at face value. We're also bringing our own intuition and our own knowledge to the table, but it's giving it to you. It's telling you everything you need to know. And then I'm like, okay, let's test this. Say somebody is a 3-5 projector. I used my daughter's design type. Based on that, how do they approach planning it? And spit it right out to me. What about a 4-6 manifesting generator? Again, spit it out. Now, how would a 2-4 reflector, my type, do it? Because I wanted to see if it could really hit my nail on the head. And it did. So could I effectively apply my system to every single human design type? Yes. There's how to do it. How is my model alone? My model alone is powerful. Now I want to know how many birth coaches are utilizing this. Very few. How much more could I charge for this? This is where I came up with like the 25 to 50% increase. You could justify a premium of 25 to 50% or even more, depending on the market segment and your clientele's expectations. I mean, this is just one little tiny thing. You bring so much more to the table than just this one tiny piece. And it's done all the work for you. All of it. You just input your information once, you've got it. You've got your baseline. hypothetically, if I had an entire core program plus bonus courses and self-study without a live component, that's $247. How much more could I charge to add extra tools and sessions? Well, now at least an increase of at least $200 to $300 just by incorporating these tools. You want to create an app? You want to create AI tools or have somebody create the AI tools for you for your program? That's an added service that you add to it. Now, what about adding weekly calls? How much more? What else would I need to offer to charge a $5K per month if you're looking at raising your prices in coaching and you want to figure it out? Fewer clients, but more impact. And then it tells you high touch personalization and on-demand support. I'm already offering that. That's why I only work with 1 to 2 clients per year at the highest level. But seeing that, the things that you could offer, now summarize it for me because I want to be able to copy and paste this for my future stuff. So, have I blown your minds or have I blown your minds?
For sure. That is amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
How long did
So,
it take to do all this?
well, I had to take breaks because of course I'm on 4.0, but I finished it up. I started on Saturday and I finished it up by Sunday afternoon. And then I went down deeper rabbit holes. But the baseline of it, I was just coming back to it over the course of that weekend. And I was also resting as I needed to because my back was absolutely killing me and I needed to actually recover. So I knew that sleep was important, but I needed to do something high level. And I couldn't edit any videos because there were none to be able to edit anymore. I edited them all. I had nothing else to do. And I'm stuck in bed. I can't do any cleaning. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to play with ChatGPT all day. And that's what I came up with.
Yay for boredom.
Right?
Yay for the opportunity that you got your back hurt so you could actually do this.
Well,
I mean, I'm not glad for your back hurting, but I'm just saying what a great gift it was to be able to be
Yeah.
like, well, I can now do this,
yeah.
That's why I say that's a gift in a way. I mean, it sounds kind of awful at first, but that's why I wanted to explain it to you.
Well,
No,
no,
we know
it
what
is
you
a
mean.
gift. I mean, it is a gift though, because I recognized that, okay, I'm being redirected. The old version of me 4
Yeah.
years ago would have been pissed off by this and complained and tried to push through and probably injured my back worse, so I wouldn't have recovered. The new me recognizes the redirection, the opportunity for a break, and I'm like, you know what? Even if I can't record these videos right now, there's something else I can do. What is it? And then all of a sudden it just popped into my head. It's like, I play with ChatGPT. Just curiously, let's just play with this. And when I did it, I just kept getting more and more ideas.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing, is that so many people are using ChatGPT as a Google search or to do the work for them, like write my report for me. But it's not a supernatural tool. The supernatural being is using the tool. Our intuition is using the tool. It's not the other way around. ChatGPT is not magic. But it is magical, if that makes sense. It's like you're basically reflecting your own magic back at you. You put it in, and the more valuable the input you have, and the more you follow your strands of curiosity, the deeper you can go. So now the question is, what are you going to do with it? I've given you a tiny little taste of what you can do, and I will absolutely be giving you the prompts. You can just reach out to me, carlybondard@gmail.com, and I will give that map to you. But the sky is really the limit, and even into the planetary alignments and the stars and the galaxies. Like you can go so deep with this. And the question is, how much would you want to go deep in a course like this? If I did an entire program or a workshop.
I don't know. I could see this being several sessions.
Yeah, I could too. And the other component is, you can get a whole full report of your human design. And so there would be even deeper things to go into. So, like, where do you actually stop? Like you can get the paid report, and does that even, help to refine everything? I don't know. Did you ever do the paid report and
No,
plug that?
I haven't done the paid report, but now you've put more ideas in my head, and you know how dangerous that is, Terry.
Yes, I know, because we're the same, apparently.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's three Scorpio women, and then Liliana's got her own magic too. I'd love to hear from her, but I know that she's probably also just like watching and taking it all in, and maybe she's she's just listening in because she's busy. But I mean, this is like recorded.
Yeah, and this is
Really wish Chris was here.
with his logical, analytical brain.
Yes.
I love one observation is that one of the big fears that people have about AI is that the damage that it can do to human connection because it's just all artificial. And it's like, yeah, and then you use it like this, and what is this doing? It's fostering incredible kind of connection, because when we can use these things, and we could use this with whatever personality type thing that any given client is comfortable with, Oh, I'm all about the Myers-Briggs. Okay, well, we'll use that. And we can use it with anything that they're comfortable with to really tailor what we offer to them specifically. And that kind of connection, that kind of understanding. And two, on our end, it really helps us to better understand our client instead of going, well, okay, this is my message. It's like, okay, and what do you need? And tailor, not changing our message, but how can I best communicate what I offer to you with the way, where you are and what you want. So it's really just fostering that real deep connection, and from both ends, from our end toward our client and through our client, for our client in their own work that they're doing. So I love that.
And it cuts your time in half too, because rather than just trying to guess at your client, you can really personalize the experience. So you've already got the data, you've got the report, you could generate a report at the beginning of every session, and you go through that, and then it's just about keeping them accountable, and you have the high touch, because even the report said high touch. So once I have the basic overview of our plan, which usually takes a lot longer to figure out, we've now got our plan. And it didn't take as much trial and error to do it. And we can still do that high touch with our clients. We could also offer this like as an app that then invites them to go even deeper. There's like opportunity for a higher touch membership, where a lot of memberships are just like you're on your own. There's still that ability of that high touch potential, because not everybody is going to reach out for that help. Some of them are do-it-yourselfers. They're going to take your content, they're going to take your courses, and they're just going to focus on their own thing, and they're going to do it themselves, and they're not going to ask for that extra bit of help. However, if you have that baseline, you're protecting your energy from the ones that are just freebie seekers who are only going to keep bugging you for more information that they could have easily looked up themselves. And it's like, hey, before you get on a call with me, we really need to make sure that you've got this information done. If they haven't done the work, you don't get on that call because they don't have the baseline. And then that allows them to be like, oh, I've got to step up and actually do the work. They're going to go through the program. They're actually going to do the work.
Mhm.
And one of the biggest frustrations of going from one to one to many is that you lose that high touch potential. You lose that connection. And then they don't go through the whole thing. And then they don't get the results. And you don't make the impact that you want to make. So I am so committed to my goals because I never was thinking business make lots of money. I mean, that's the part that's like, now I deserve it. I'm worthy of it, and I can make more of an impact with it, making that money and having those higher clients. But at the same time, I didn't want to leave anybody behind. And I also am really tired of the moms and everything that like people go out and they seek information, but they don't take action on it. And we didn't just get into coaching to make a bunch of money. We did it because we have a passion to help people, because we see that things aren't working and we don't want to see that trauma. We don't want to see that pain. Like that's what we did. We got into it because it's like, I want to help people. So with this, we can help people. And as I said, if you want to go deeper, like this, like there is no limit to how you can use this. You can take what I taught you today and you can run with it. And if you want to go deeper, I'm happy to run another class and we can go deeper on this. I'm thinking of possibly even doing a series in the future, but like this is a test run because I found this. And I'm like, oh, my friends need to see this. So
Yeah.
thank you so much for coming in today. And to anyone else who is watching this, because I gave you the replay, I just want to let you know if you do want to get in on this, all you have to do is reach out to me, carlybondard@gmail.com, and we can talk about this because this is something I'm really fired up about. It's something that like I accidentally discovered it. And there's so many ways that I can use this. And I can help you in your business. I can help you with your clients. And we can talk about that. And the onus is on you to reach out because as a 2-4 reflector, I was taught to attract my audience, not chase. So all you have to do is take action. Thank you again for watching. I appreciate you. I love you. I can't wait to see what you do with this. All right. Bye.